fix the tie. It still looks crooked. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. It's Tuesday. How are you guys? You guys ready to have some fun? Anytime there's even the slightest talk about a major storm, I have a good time. So I'm in a good mood right now. We're going to dive into this thing. There's a lot of moving pieces. We're going to sneak up on them. We're going to sneak up on them. Say hi to everybody, honey. How? I did. And I also heard you call her me on the air.
All of the things I do for the meter, and then I don't see anyone out here. So immediately out of my mouth, turning on a meteorologist, Chris Hours, and I hear Kate's heels. Click, click, click. And I'm like, oh, actually, we have Kate Wexel.
I turned my head and I was like, oh shoot, am I supposed to be in front of the camera?
It was bizarre. It's not the first time I've done this.
Well, everything going good today? Good. We're going to talk about... Are you?
Yes, I've got to take my little girl to get re-x-rays for her. Remember she had a broken...
Oh, that's right. Which healed awful fast, by the way. Lori and I were surprised.
4 weeks in the past, and we're good. But
Yeah.
we're going to get re-x-rayed tomorrow. We just have to schedule time, but, mom and dad are...
What's tomorrow, Wednesday? Tomorrow's Wednesday?
I'll be back Thursday.
Okay, I'll be here Thursday, and then I'm off Friday.
Enjoy.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll see you Thursday. All right, and then there's my buddy Todd. Real quick, I'm going to waste a little bit of time. I want everybody to get in so we can, I don't have to go back and say things. Are you recording? Oh, okay. There's my buddy Todd. He's going to be talking about the Olympics. You got the gold medal game Sunday. United States and Canada. Are you going to be up at 8:30 to watch it? 4 o'clock in the morning? Man, take a sleepy pill. Sleep in. Oh, that's too early, man. Woo! Okay. I don't know if I could do 4:30 a.m. He's a bike rider. I mean, he'll ride. And I'm not talking about like a motorcycle. I'm talking about like an actual, like a bike. He's a rider. He'll ride like 50 miles. It's crazy. And he does that like 4 days a week, I think he said. Me, on the other hand, I swim. Although lately I haven't been swimming much at all. I've taken a break because I've been swimming for like, what is this, 2016 or 2020, 2016, 2026 now. I've probably been swimming for 6, 7, 8 years straight now. And I'm just, man, I hope we're not going to have this problem today. Hopefully you guys are all still here. All right, let's get into it then, because it looks like my signal is hurting here. All right, let's talk about it. All right, so talking about the potential for this major winter storm, let's call it here. Now remember, you're going to get a nice warm up here. This is a mild pattern that we're moving into. You've got one more good cold shot. If you've been reading my posts consistently on Facebook, I've been talking about this for at least a week now. You've got one more good cold shot coming in during the month of February. Cold shot meaning colder air that's going to last 2 or 3 days. Not sustained cold, which will last 1 to 2 weeks. All right, so you got one more cold shot coming in around the 23rd. On the leading edge of it, the modeling is suddenly trying to form a major storm. And in this case, it would be a major snowstorm for the big cities of the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, D.C. up to New York City, okay? The question is, do I believe it? Is the modeling, wish casting, or is the modeling on to something? That's the million-dollar question. So for that, we're going to look at, sorry, I was reading a text message that I was just sent. We're going to look at a couple forecast models. And the other thing that I want to point out here is We are still, what is today? Today is Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're still about 5 days away. Remember, I don't like to usually go to the operationals until we break 5 days. So tomorrow is when I really start to look at these operationals. But for the sake of this discussion here, I'm going to show you what's going on so you can see the difference. All right, that's the European model. All right, ECMWF, East Coast. This is where we're going to be looking. All right, blue is snow, green is rain. Okay? So here we go. All right, now you can see what it tries to do on Sunday. This is all cold air. Low pressure develops, but watch where it goes. See how it kind of just goes out? All right, so let me rewind this. Here it comes. See the low? There it is. But instead of coming up, it goes out. Okay? So it still has some snow, but the bulk of the storm is off the coast and out to sea. Meanwhile, here comes that same piece of energy on the GFS model. Okay. Now again, the GFS we all know has been garbage, but I'm going to show you this because there was 3 different models showing this same solution today. So I'm going to use this model just so we can stick with the operationals. All right, here it comes. See it? See the difference? It's hugging the coast. See it? Okay. That's a straight up blizzard. Okay, that's what that is right there. Look at that thing. That is a raging blizzard. Okay, so we go from the European model, which just shows a glancing blow. The storm goes off the coast and out to sea, to the GFS, which does this. Okay? So I'm sure the first question on your mind is going to be, all right, why the difference in the modeling? You know, why are we seeing such a huge difference? Let me show you. I think these forecast models, you know, you have to remember when you get beyond days 5 to 7 is when you start to finally move into their range of accuracy. I don't really like to get into them, you know, to put a lot of emphasis on them until you break 5 days. That's when your window is there. Okay, a couple of the systems that we're watching, there's a lot of moving parts with this. Okay, and that's, if you saw my post earlier today, I said something to the effect of that I didn't love the pattern for this. Okay, and what I simply meant was there's a lot of moving parts. You got to get these moving pieces to all kind of come together to get your gigantic storm. That doesn't mean, and I said I don't love it. I said it doesn't mean it can't happen. I said I just don't love it. Right? And that's exactly why, because there's a lot of these little pieces that kind of come together or phase to get this massive winter storm that the GFS was just showing there. Okay, so and you know the GFS has been awful this year. So I put very little into this. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because the Canadian showed this and the European AI showed this. Okay, so you had 3 that showed major storm, 1 that showed a glancing blow. All right, now the 1 was the European, which is highly regarded as the most accurate model out there. So if you don't want snow, you've got that one in your camp. Okay, now let me show you this. European, remember, this is the one that showed the glancing blow. You got pieces to the puzzle here. Watch how they come together. Northern and southern branches of the jet. Okay, so here comes the piece right here. All right, see it diving down? All right, here, actually I went too fast, hold on. Here comes the piece off the Pacific. Here comes another one here and another one. Now, in order to get the mega storm, you got to phase them, right? Well, watch what happens. Here's the first one, here's the second, here's the third. You see how they're all separate? And so the first one is already being kicked off the coast. Here's the second one behind it, and then the third one drops in. See that? And so by the time everything gets going, it's way offshore. Meanwhile, the GFS, here comes the energy off the Pacific, here comes the northern branch energy, and then you've got this guy here. So watch what happens here. Okay, here comes the energy right there. All right, see how this is dropping to the south? Here comes the kicker. And they all, watch, you're going to see everything kind of go like this. See? See how everything, it all catches up right here. and bang, you get the major storm. All right, that is the difference. That is the major difference right there. And that's why, again, I said I don't love the pattern. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I just don't love it, because the one that you guys got, what was it, like a month ago now, where you still have snow on the ground? I forget the date when that one actually happened. That was a slam dunk. There was never a doubt for 1 second that you guys weren't going to get a big accumulating snowfall out of that, because it wasn't 3 or 4 separate pieces coming together. It was a storm that had already developed out here. And it already developed out here, right through here, and then just came running across the country. Everything was already set in stone. This is completely different. This is, you got a piece here, you got a piece here, a piece here. They've all got to come together. So where they come together, if they come together at all, determines who sees the big snows. Okay, that's why I said I don't love the pattern, because you're threading the needle. You gotta thread the needle in order to get the kind of snowstorm the GFS, the Canadian, and the European AI is showing right now. And you can do it, but there's a lot of things that have to come together. So this is what we call, this is back to the European. This is the one, this is the 500 millibar heights. Okay, this is the one that shows the glancing blow. Low pressure, high pressure. Watch what happens, okay? Here comes the energy right off the Rockies. Okay, now you got a decent block up here. Okay, see how it's trying to slam the northern door shut? But then watch, as the low drops down, this you're gonna watch these oranges disappear. See what's happening? As this deepens, this vanishes. There's no more, in other words, the northern door is no longer shut. See this? And that allows the low to escape. See that? And this drops here, that goes that way, and the whole thing disappears. So let me go back. It's pretty pronounced here. All right, I shall go back farther. That's a pretty pronounced block to slow this whole thing down. But again, watch. See the orange disappear? Northern door opens up, bang, low escapes. Meanwhile, watch what happens on the GFS. This is the one that shows the major snowstorm. You got a good block, northern door's shut. Here comes the energy, right, off the Pacific. All right, now watch what happens. See? See? Low is digging. That's a good block. All right? Now it's already, this is Monday. This forces the low on the coast instead of out to sea. Okay? You don't have this here. This goes, it goes bye-bye. Okay? So you have two very different outlooks on this. European is just not in love with the whole phasing idea. It allows the storm to escape out to sea. GFS brings everything together, slams the northern door shut, and it says, hello, you guys are getting walloped with a huge snowstorm. So Sherry says, do we have any type of time frame? Yes, this is a Sunday storm, okay? But let's assume for a second it all comes together. It's a Sunday storm. Okay, so let's talk snow, okay? This is what the European, the glancing blow, the storm that developed here and it goes out. This is what it has. It's got maybe an inch or two out here. And actually, it's not even. Poconos, it has 2 to 4. All right, but out here in southeastern Pennsylvania suburbs, it has maybe an inch. All right, so pretty much the European has a nuisance event with the storm getting much better organized way off the coast of Atlantic City, all right, and then it's going out. Meanwhile, the GFS has that, all right? Remember, it has the storm being forced to the coast. It sits here, it deepens, it bombs out, and it throws ridiculous snowfall rates. 23 inches, 18, 15, look it up here towards Boston. It's got over 2 feet, okay? So that's the difference. So what I like to do is, again, we're about 5 days out. See, with the operational stuff, you got to take it with a grain of salt. So what I like to do is I like to go, and you guys know this because you guys have been with me all winter long here. I like to go to the ensembles and see if we got any support for what these models are showing, okay? So here's the European, all right? Here's the European ensemble, okay? Remember, the ensembles run 50 different times. And it comes up with a different solution each time you take the blend. out of the 50 runs, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the Philadelphia area, you got 5, 6, 7. I'll put that one in there, but that's not bad. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You've got 12. Let's put this one in there too. But that's, no, I'm not going to. That's only 2 inches. You got 12. You have 12 members of the ensemble out of 50 that show a serious snowstorm. The snowstorm where it's at least 6 to 10 inches. You've got 12 out of 50. What's the percentage of that? What is that, maybe 20%? 12, 24, 36, 48. Something like that, right? It's maybe 22%, 23%, something like that. So you got a 1 in 4 chance of getting a huge snowstorm with that. The GFS, on the other hand, all right, remember, here's what the GFS shows. Let's go to its ensemble support. Look at that. 1, 2. Now, the GFS only has 25 members, okay? So out of 25, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'll put this one in at 2, but it's way north of Philly. 5. And this, see, the coastal area. Let's put this one in 2. 6. 6 out of 25. What percentage is that? 6 of 25. 6, 12, 18, 24. That's also what, like 25%? Something like that? So you get the idea. The operational GFS is going nuts, right? It's going nuts with all that huge snow, but yet it's only a 1 in 4% chance on the ensemble. Okay, so, in the European model was showing that glancing blow out to sea, and it also is a 1 in 4 chance, just a 25% chance that you get a huge snow. So I want to clarify right now, that doesn't mean it can't change, okay? It more than likely will. We all know how these models work, right? I mean, they always change. But right now, the odds are stacked against a major snowstorm, all right? It's actually 75% chance says no, 25% chance says yes. So we'll see, all right? Now, both models, regardless if you don't get the major snowstorm, it still has a couple of inches of snow in the Philadelphia area. But there's a big difference between 2 inches of snow and 12 or 15 inches of snow. You know what I mean? Elaine, this is for Sunday. This is a Sunday event. So, that's really it in a nutshell. That's what we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. A lot of pieces. There's a lot of moving parts here. Do they come together? Okay, that's the first question that needs to be answered. And then the second question is, if they do come together, where? Where do they come together? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if, it's on an Arctic front, let's say everything comes together inland. If everything comes together inland, this is rain. You know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of moving parts here. Just 3 out of the 4 models went nuts today with a major snowstorm. And, of course, everybody on social media posted it. And so, it's got a lot of people, all, out of their mind, because the last thing in the world I think a lot of you want to see is a major snowstorm after you guys have finally gotten the snow to melt. Okay, the other thing, I want to make sure, I had a couple people, I want to make sure people are not confused. Go down on my posts. I've made posts, I make 3-4 a day. And I've been talking about this for about 4 days now. I talked about how the worst of this winter season in terms of temperatures is over. Okay, but I didn't say anything about snow. And I've been pretty adamant about it. It can still snow in mild patterns. I've said that from the very beginning. I've been saying that for years. But, if you look at one of my posts, because someone tried to call me out on it earlier today, and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And I had to show them the post that I made. I just took a screenshot of it, and I sent it to them. I'm like, what are you talking about? The worst of winter in terms of temperatures, in terms of cold, is over. All right, you're not going to get nearly as cold anymore, not even close. See you, Kate. Than what you guys already been through. But again, it can still snow, and I've been saying that for weeks now. And it can still snow into March. I remember, I think it was 2018. We had 3 nor'easters during the month of March. 3. I remember it was great because we were getting a nor'easter every week during the month of March. You know, it's crazy. So we'll see. Right now, I wouldn't get, unless you have a flight on Sunday or some kind of plans, you know, Sunday into Monday, you know, I wouldn't get too upset about this yet. But it is something, you know, today's Tuesday, it is something that I would watch closely. And, you know, we'll wait and see. All right. Let's see. That's really about it. Let me show you guys real quick. I'll warm up your hearts a little bit, okay? Take a look at this. All right, let's move off the snow for a second. Look at that. That's the weather we're projecting here in West Palm Beach. If you know anybody down here, come on down this week. Right, Kate? This weekend. Kate said she'll rent out her bedroom, and she's going to have a guest room available for you guys. I've got an extra bedroom. So, look at this weather. I mean, 82, 84, 85, 85, 86. Now, the Treasure Coast is going to be a little bit cooler, but it's full sun. It's full sun. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And then the front comes in Sunday night and cools us down Monday and Tuesday. And yes, I just saw this. Let's see. Somebody, Barbara, thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. I haven't made a single prediction on this storm. Not one. And Barbara straightened that out. I guess someone said I did. I haven't made any predictions on this. I just showed you guys two different models, two different outlooks on this storm, what has to happen in order to get the big storm, and, you know, what has to happen in order to get the slider out to sea. That's all I'm doing. I'm kind of, you know, I use this as an opportunity to share with you guys what I look at and explain to you, you know, why certain things happen or why certain things don't happen. You know, that's you know, these dungeon segments, I just kind of use it as you know, me sharing with you guys so we can all enjoy this together. You'll know when I make a prediction, because I'll say, you know, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, you know, 3 to 6 inland, 6 to 12 on the coast. You know, I'll mention things like that. But, you know, right now there's no prediction out there, and honestly, I don't think anybody. Now, granted, I haven't seen all the social media posts. I know there's a lot of social media forecasters out there, and I haven't seen all of them, but I don't think too many people are actually making predictions just yet, because you're still 5 days out. I think everybody is just getting a little excited because some of the models have gone nuts and showed a major winter storm, so they're sharing the model data, you know, on their Facebook pages. Well, I'll tell you what, wouldn't that be the icing on the cake if you guys get a 1 to 2 foot snowstorm? Oh my gosh. And look, how many years was I in the Philadelphia market? Like almost 19. I think we had one good snowstorm, one. And no. There was, I think like 2014 or 2015, those were good winters. And then that winter where Allentown picked up 30 inches of snow, that was a mild winter, but you got a good snowstorm there. But I mean, overall, it never was cold. It never snowed. So what happens? My wife and I and Paigey moved down here, and now look at the last 2 winters you guys have had. So if you're a snow lover, you can thank me for this. If you don't like the snow, you're probably really upset with me right now. Okay. Dawn is asking, which one do you rely on this winter? European, by far, hands down, and it's not even close. The GFS has been straight garbage. And there's no nice way I can put it. It's been awful this winter season. And I don't know, you know, I just don't understand. And we've talked about this before, you know, the physics involved in this model. I don't understand why, you know, whoever's in charge of fixing this just doesn't fix it. I mean, heck, just call whoever runs the European model and say, hey guys, what do you guys got going on that model? Can we share it? You know what I mean? I just don't understand, because the European has forever been so much better than the GFS. Someone posted 7 inches for Sunday. Won't believe it until you predict it. Bam, Nancy, that's what I'm talking about. You can't, and Nancy, exactly right. We're 5 days out. You can't make predictions. Believe me, I'm 26 years in this business, and I've made the mistake a couple of times of predicting too far in advance, and then you got egg on your face. You know what I mean? So, believe me, I know. Let's see. I thought I saw someone else say something. March 1999 went into labor during a snowstorm. Oh, Yeah, and March is a funny, I'm telling you, March is a funny, it's a funny month because, you know, winter is trying to hold on by a string, right? But at the same time, spring is, you know, coming on like gangbusters. And so you get the collision of air masses. And if things line up just right, bam, you can get a good snowstorm. And you know, we've had the blizzard of 93. All right. That was in March. Or Philadelphia's, I think it's 7th largest snowstorm was actually in April. So, I mean, you can get big snowstorms. It's like I said, even in mild patterns, and I want you guys to remember this, you know, for future reference, even in mild patterns, it can snow if you line things up just right. You know, if everything comes together and the storm is off the coast, you know, it's hugging the coast, but it's east of the major cities. If it comes in at night, you know, it doesn't have to be brutally cold. It just has to be cold enough. And then you can get snow. So we got this one here. I like that you don't hype it up. You tell us like it is. I agree. I have seen snow in April when my sister got married. Linda, thank you. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. I've been getting really good at the block button. Someone comes at me with some ridiculousness, I don't even comment anymore. I just block them, ban them from the page. I just don't have time for it anymore. It's just, I only listen to your predictions. Stephanie, thank you very much. You're the best weatherman. Elena, I appreciate that. Thank you. Lori says you never made any predictions. Never did. Thank you. Pat says it's winter. Anything can happen, but Florida looks nice and warm. Let me tell you. So one of the problems we're having in Florida right now, okay, and this is really the only problem, is the drought. Drought's getting really, really bad down here. We're in what's called extreme. No. Yes, because the next level is exceptional. We have a part of our area that's in extreme drought. Remember how brutally, how can you forget, right? How brutally cold it was up there in the Philadelphia area. So we had a piece of that. That Arctic front came all the way down through the Keys into Cuba, into the Bahamas. It actually cleared Puerto Rico. That's how far southeast that front went. We dropped below freezing 3 times. And matter of fact, we had hard freezes back-to-back nights where the temperatures dropped down to like 26 to 28. So everything died. All the palms are lifeless brown. The bushes, because it's all tropical stuff down here. The bushes, all the leaves are a lifeless brown. Because it's dry to begin with, the grass is brown. You know, everything just looks dead and lifeless down here. It's so upsetting because this is such a gorgeous part of the country normally. And so now you've got a very dry environment. We're in the middle of the dry season, and now you've got all this dead leaves and dead palms and all this dead everything because of the freeze on top of it. You've got so much fuel for wildfires if they start flaring up. That's the only issue that we're facing right now. We got burn bans on every single county here in the WPTV television market. And, you know, we need some rain. We desperately need some rain. And hopefully the pattern changes soon and we can get some in here. Okay, you guys take care. Let's do this all over again tomorrow. All right, I'll see you. Same bat time, same bat channel. By the way, 6:30, I've now started doing a live dungeon segment on the WPTV Facebook page. All right, now that one's more geared towards tropics and weather down here, but I also dive into the pattern a little bit too. I actually talked about the potential for an upcoming El Nino this summer, you know, during my, I guess I'll call it a dungeon on the WPTV site at 6:30. So I'm going to be doing one on that site every day, Monday through Friday at 6:30. And obviously I'll be doing this. I'll keep doing this one here on this Facebook page, mine, at 7:30, where I focus more on winter storms up there and some stuff down here and the overall winter patterns. Okay, so 6:30 WPTV, 7:30 right here. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.